I want to start by saying that this isn't the first bad experience I've had dog sitting, but it's definitely the worst. So I started dog sitting back when I was 13 and made good money doing it. I'm currently 19 and this happened when I was 18. I set up an easy way for people to contact me about dog sitting. I put a post out on Facebook and Instagram about it often and would get people in my messages asking to dog sit. I got a notification from Instagram one day stating someone was trying to message me. I accepted it and the message said that me and my wife are looking to find a dog sitter while we go away for a week to Florida. You will have to work for the 4th to 11th this month. We will pay you $300 for the week. You're welcome to stay at our house or go back to your own home. I started talking back and forth with this man and we're gonna call him Mr. Brown for the sake of privacy. So I agreed to take the gig and told him I would stay at the house for the week. Once I got to his house, I was shown to his two dogs, Mina and Letty. Mina was a little Yorkie and Letty was a blue hound. I was shown around his house, which was surrounded by 76 acres. I live in a farm town and live on 32 acres myself, so staying here didn't really freak me out. The closest neighbours were pretty far away and you would actually have to drive there if you wanted to talk to them. They told me the rules and when to feed them. Then Mrs. Brown told me about the nearest neighbour. In her words, she was a nice person, just a little drugged up and confused. She mentioned how sometimes she would pull into their driveway instead of hers and would end up mistaking Mrs. Brown for her dead daughter. Hearing this made me feel pretty bad for her, and I know all too well how hard it is for parents to lose their child, because of how my parents were after losing my brother in a car accident. Mrs. Brown said she wouldn't do anything bad though, and if she came up to the house, just point her back to her home and she would leave with no problems. After they left, I was down to watch movies and just chill with the dogs. The first 2 days were fine with no hiccups. The third day, however, the old lady, who I'll call Miss Rose, did pull into the driveway. I came outside and she was getting out of the car. She looked up to see me and immediately she got back in her car and left. I chalked it up to her realising it was the wrong house. When she saw me, I went back inside. Later that night, I got a call from Mrs. Brown asking if I was okay. I said yes and asked why. She then went on to tell me about how she got a call from Miss Rose and that she said there was a robber at their house. I explained what happened and she just laughed and said she must have been confused and forgot about that they were out of town. I ended the phone call and making a note to go over there tomorrow to clear the air about me being a robber. Once I went to bed that night though, things got crazy. I woke up at around 2 hearing a light scratching sound that almost sounded like ticking coming from outside the window. At first, I thought it might have been a bird or some sort of night creature and left it alone. But the noise kept me from falling back asleep. I wanted to scare away, so I got up and went open the blinds, but screamed once I lifted the blinds at sight of Miss Rose trying to pry the window open with a pair of pliers. When she saw me though, she started banging on the window with the pliers. The dog started barking now, and I quickly got up, told the dogs to follow me and grabbed my phone and ran to a room with no windows, which was the bathroom, locking the door in case she got in. I called 911 and explained the situation quickly, giving them the address from what I could remember. She said that the police would be there in 10 minutes, which for the area I was in is pretty good considering their house is in a pretty rural area. I'd gotten the dogs to be quiet and put them in the closet connected to the bathroom to make sure she didn't hear them. I was trying to stay calm and I could still hear the pounding on the window as I continued to talk to the operator, and then I heard the glass shatter. I cursed under my breath, trying not to cry. I was really scared and pretty much ready to cry from the fear of being beaten to death by someone who is clearly not in the right state of mind. I was whispering what was happening to the operator, hiding in the back of the bathroom in the tub. After about 4 minutes of pretty much silence, I heard footsteps, and I could see feet under the other side of the door, and I cursed to myself again. I then see Miss Rose get on her hands, looking under the crack, and I mistakenly let out a gasp. She gets up quickly, pounding at the door, and I can tell she's using the pliers. I am at this point crying, asking the operator where the police are, and which she responds to 3 minutes. Those 3 minutes felt like forever. I screamed at Miss Rose to please go away. She screamed back that I shouldn't be here. Once I heard the sound of the police cars, and about a minute later them trying to kick down the door, I felt better. I was told to stay on the line till the intruder was caught, and the police were not trying to get into the house. Eventually, they did get into the house, and I yelled to get their attention. Not that they needed it, she was still banging on the door. Once they got to the room, she was told to drop her weapon, and she obeyed, saying she didn't do anything wrong. They got her in cuffs, and the police officer told me it was okay to unlock the door, to which I slowly got up and unlocked the door. After being taken to the police station and giving them my story for their report, I went to my parents' house. I was just too scared to be alone. The next day, I called Mrs. Brown and explained the situation. I got a full payment, even after telling them I wasn't going back to the house. They called me a few days later saying that Miss Rose was under the influence of drugs, and in her words, she told the police she decided to take care of the robber herself and that she did nothing wrong. She was charged with breaking and entering, which is kind of ironic. After that, I quit dog sitting, and I'm a lot more paranoid and always make sure my doors and windows are locked. So Miss Rose, let's not meet again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, and I'd appreciate if you hit the subscribe button as well. And don't forget to hit the bell notification so you don't miss out in future videos.